One of the coolest things about mountain bikes is you can ride them pretty much anywhere and in any conditions, although to enjoy them best, sometimes the gear you wear really enhances that enjoyment.
Yeah, waterproof clothing, base layers, all that stuff, everyone's familiar with that in the outdoor environment, but your feet are often forgotten about. So what can you do to keep your feet warm and dry in those cold, wet winter rides?
Now there's two main options really when things get cold and wet. Either you stay with your regular shoes that do you proud through summer and you just know you're going to get cold and wet feet, although you could add some merino wool socks and or some waterproof socks to that mix.
Or the other option is commit to those winter months, get out there in some proper winter riding shoes. Can make a massive difference. So to find out, we got on the phone to Physique and I ordered in a set of their full-on winter shoes and a regular pair of their trail shoes. And we're going to put them head to head out on the trails and more importantly in the muck.
Just like choosing the right bike to suit the type of riding you do, getting the right kit is going to affect your on-bike performance if that's important to you. But what is important to most people is comfort. So most of the type of riding I do is sort of less than 2 hours on, quite a high-paced enduro style ride. So a good tempo up to the top of the hill, a couple of breaths, then drop in. So I choose kit to suit that, that's fairly lightweight but protective, keeps me warm whilst I'm moving but not too hot.
Unlike Neil, who clearly wants to go fast and hit as many downhill runs as possible in a short, like sort of furious riding session, I actually want to do the opposite in winter because weirdly, and I might be alone in this, but I get more time to ride my bike in winter. And when you're talking about bikes all day long, you actually need to get out and get away from all this stuff because you go a bit mad really. And to get out in winter, you need proper riding gear. So I can justify for what, 4 months of the year, having expensive riding kit that I only use for that time of year because it's going to last me 4 or 5 seasons at least. Totally worth the money. And so the kit I tend to use will be full waterproof clothing, fully breathable, windproof, all the rest of it. And more importantly, I use the full insulated shoes. So these are the Terra Arctica. They're a little bit different to Neil's ones, although they fundamentally have the same sole on them. So they're great off the bike as well as in the saddle. But the cool thing about them is they're fully waterproof and they're insulated. That is the key to keeping your feet properly comfortable on big rides out on the hills.
So what about shoes? Well, I tend to go for trail style SPD shoes like these Terra Ergolace X2s by Physique. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, and they have understated styling. Now you often hear bike kit designers say you can wear this in the pub or off the bike. I don't tend to do that, but I do like that style, if you get what I mean. Sort of skate style shoe, really suits the type of riding I do. A simple lace up, secure but unfussy, with tough ripstop uppers that aren't bulky. Stiff soles for the ultimate power transfer, I'm not that bothered. A comfy shoe for riding and for the occasional hike, that suits me much better. I use the ambush technique to my riding in winter. In, get it done, and then out before my hands or feet get a chance to get cold.
So unlike Neil's sort of pre-planned attack form of riding, I actually kind of go with the flow a bit. Sometimes I might choose to do the same sort of riding as Neil. Other times I want to stay out a bit longer. That's why it's key for me to have something a bit warmer that's going to keep me comfortable all day long. And I love winter riding boots. I love the correct tool for the job. I always tell you that sort of thing. And until you've tried something like a winter boot, you actually think that freezing feet is really just an honourable part of riding a mountain bike. That's nonsense.
Always the back foot. It's absolutely soaking wet now. I think my manualling skills get much better in the winter in the UK. Just trying to keep my feet dry through puddles, but eventually they'll just get jet washed.
Well, I don't know what the fuss is about. You've got to dress for the occasion, haven't you, really?
More puddles. So both of these shoes are sort of aimed at the trail, the all mountain style of thing. So they're definitely not as stiff as something like a carbon sole cross country shoe, but they're quite a specific tool, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like you say, they're not going to get as much power transfer as an XC shoe, but then an XC shoe, you're not going to wear them all day long and be comfortable on and off the bike. That's really what these are for.
They don't not feel stiff. So the biggest difference really, or one of them, is the ankle coverage.
See, I really like the protection. And I've always found actually after using a pair of these and stepping into some of those, feel a little bit naked.
I've always just run my normal shoes. I've never actually owned a set of winter boots because there's still a bit of a racer in me. These are lightweight, they're 329 grams. Although probably way more than that now. They're full of mud and water, to be fair. But you know, the boots are a heavier thing, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know, these are like 500 grams or something, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You're wearing more clothes, you're carrying more kit, your bike weighs more in winter. These are fit and forget. Get out there in the elements in them.
The soles on our shoes are actually the same, that Vibram rubber, so it should be the same for hiker bike. But I've definitely seen, or you know, the experience of some skate style shoes in the winter when you start walking up wet, slippy ground to an ice rink. What about the boots? That's got to help a little bit.
Yeah, potentially. I think a little bit more ankle stability kind of suits me, really, to be honest.
Although, you know, I don't do a huge amount of hiker bike, so it's not a massive concern for me. The most I've done recently has been the Andes Pacifico in 35-degree heat, so I'm not sure I'd want the boot for that.
Well, I wouldn't know. Most of the riding I tend to do is like this, and these are perfect for it.
So I do quite like laces. Even my road shoes have got some of those hipster ones, and people always ask me if I can get them tight enough.
Yeah.
I definitely can. Like, you can get your shoes nice and secure. They don't rub for riding or for hiking. These shoes are low, so not as much protection as a high top, but they've got reinforced toe cap, bits like that, which is common of like a traily all mountain clipless shoe.
It's interesting you say about the laces, because normal winter boots that I've seen in the past have had laces and they've had like a flap over the top.
Yeah, right.
And you can never really adjust them when you ride because you're covered in mud and that. Quite cool having a boa on these, because I wouldn't have thought the boa would lend itself well to a winter shoe, but it's actually perfect and so easy to adjust with gloves on.
You can get spares for those kits as well, can't you?
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, I can see the appeal of those as well. The great thing about these style of shoes is you can use them all year round. You can have one pair of shoes. In the conditions like today in the UK in winter, it's only just above freezing, it's cold. You will start getting cold and wet. I have got wet feet.
For sure,
but you can use them all year round.
Yeah, all right, so these are very specific. They do cost a lot of money, but they are the best thing for riding in these conditions. Like, fact, there's nothing better.
I mean, I've done a lot of standing around in cold woods when I used to do a lot of coaching. Yeah. And I've tried everything, 2 sets of socks. I find if you're gonna run, you know, a summer set of shoes, we call them, all year round, you've got to get a good set of merino wool socks. Yeah. And that's it. You need a bit of air to circulate, otherwise you're gonna get cold feet. But with merino socks, you can get wet feet and hopefully they'll stay warm. Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a compromise, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm warm and I'm dry, and I've pretty much just got to take off the waterproofs and I can get out of here. Straight to the nightclub. Absolutely, yeah. I've sort of fluctuated a bit. I'm not cold now. I am definitely wet. My arse and my right foot is very wet, but not cold yet. But they could get cold soon. I've got a confession to make. Yeah, go on. So at the beginning of the video, I said I rang up Physique. Oh, I said we rang up Physique, and got a couple of pairs of shoes. Can I get that phone number, please? Got a couple of pairs of shoes. There was actually a third pair that I didn't tell you about, and these are kind of somewhere in the middle. So they're basically like those with a boa and they're waterproof. You've got that, but they're not winter. Waterproof booty as well. Yeah. Now you're talking. I mean, I'm sold on the winter gear, but potentially there's another option for you. They're my size. Might need some fresh socks. Don't forget to hit that bell button and subscribe, of course. And for a winter riding skills video, click just down there.
And if you like getting muddy, give us a thumbs up.
Catch you later.